All right, let's get into it. Mangwanani Mwalelepo Vukenjani Clay Class Vanave Africa. Welcome to Africa Good Morning. On today's show, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa is applauded for his calm handling of a hostile Oval Office meeting with Donald Trump. In the Sahel, Russia increases aid while the EU and AU reinforce strategic cooperation. We take you to Congo, where illegal logging threatens endangered gorillas, and to South Sudan for a closer look at President Kiir's controversial reshuffle. Plus, we speak with award-winning Namibian journalist Tuyemo Haidula about her new documentary on adolescent sexual and reproductive health rights, premiering this Africa Day on NTV. All this and more, including business updates, weather and economic indicators on DSTV 285, GoTV 25, OneUp2.com and NTV Africa on YouTube. My name is Ashwin Berry. Top story shortly.
Taking flight has never been easier. Paratus is introducing Sky-Fi internet packages with speeds that will have you reaching for your seatbelts, starting from $500 Namibian excluding VAT per month, with speeds reaching up to 10 megabits per second. There's even a prepaid option where you can top up your Sky-Fi internet for just $15 Namibian per gigabyte. No contracts, no fuss. Visit your nearest Paratus branch to find out more, or go to paratus.africa/Namibia to sign up online.
Always prepared, Paratus.
In our top stories, President Cyril Ramaphosa is receiving widespread praise at home for his composed response during a tense meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump, who falsely accused South Africa of committing genocide against its white minority. Despite the inflammatory nature of the claims, which included Trump presenting a video and articles alleging white farmers are systematically murdered, Ramaphosa remained calm and diplomatic. Many South Africans admired his restraint but questioned the decision to meet Trump at all, given the predictability of the confrontation. Critics argued the engagement offered little benefit, while others, including government officials, defended it as necessary dialogue with a global power. Ramaphosa's delegation, which notably included white South African golfers, had hoped to pivot the conversation to trade. Instead, it became a platform for Trump's far-right rhetoric. Most South Africans, including analysts and students, dismissed the genocide claims as unfounded, emphasizing that most violent crime victims are black and poor. Moving on to our next story. Foreign ministers from the European Union as well as the African Union have reaffirmed their commitment to closer cooperation on peace, security and economic development during their third ministerial meeting in Brussels. The gathering, co-chaired by EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas and Angola's Tete Antonio, reviewed progress since the 2022 EU-AU summit. Ministers stressed the urgency of moving from pledges to tangible action, especially amid growing global instability and regional conflict. Key topics included misinformation, the Sahel crisis, economic integration, raw materials, AI and migration. Kallas highlighted the EU's continued support for Africa, including over €1 billion via the European Peace Facility and more than half of EU security missions being Africa-based. She also emphasized the need for African-led peace efforts in conflict zones like Sudan and the DRC, with both blocs marking 25 years of partnership this year. They aim to strengthen multilateralism and implement joint strategies on climate change, education, food security, and cultural exchange. Russia is deepening its strategic ties with the Sahel by providing 709.5 tons of humanitarian aid to Burkina Faso and preparing a 20,000-ton wheat shipment to Niger. This move is part of Moscow's broader effort to strengthen relationships with military-led governments across Africa, especially as U.S. aid influence wanes. Russian officials have stated they are ready to increase support if agreements are made. The gesture aligns with similar aid Russia extended in 2023 to 6 African countries, signaling a pattern of growing influence through grain diplomacy amidst a humanitarian crisis worsened by reduced U.S. contributions, particularly from agencies like USAID. Russia and China are stepping in with less conditional and more responsive aid. While the U.S. once allocated 25% of its global budget, U.S. aid budget, to Africa, that figure has declined sharply. Moscow is seizing this opening to expand its footprint in Africa, presenting itself as a dependable ally in contrast to Western powers whose influence appears to be receding. President Salva Kiir of South Sudan has reshuffled the senior leadership of the ruling SPLM party, appointing Second Vice President Benjamin Bolmel, who is under U.S. sanctions, as the party's deputy chairperson. The move, announced on state television, is seen as a strategic step amidst ongoing conflict and growing speculation about Kiir's succession plans. Bolmel, likely Kiir's preferred successor, was sanctioned in 2017 over allegations his company benefited from favorable government contracts. His new position places him next in line for the presidency should Kiir step down. The reshuffle also saw the demotion of 3 veteran liberation figures, including former Vice President James Wani Iga. This comes as tensions escalate following the house arrest of First Vice President Riek Machar, whose party claimed the act nullified the 2018 peace deal. The political upheaval has led several Western nations to scale back or shut their embassies. Analysts warn South Sudan may be on the brink of another civil war. In eastern Congo, illegal logging has surged in tropical forests, now under the control of M23 rebels, raising alarm among environmentalists over the fate of Kahuzi-Biega National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the last refuges for the endangered Grawas gorillas. The rebel advance has reopened roads previously restricted by government checkpoints, leading to a charcoal production boom that's decimating local forests. Charcoal prices have dropped due to oversupply, as bags weighing up to 70 kilograms are now sold for less than half their previous value. While traders celebrate the increased income, conservationists warn that the ecological cost is catastrophic. An estimated 3,000 charcoal bags enter Bukavu daily, with many also heading to Goma. Environmental groups have appealed to rebel leaders to halt the destruction, but no response has been received. If the current rate of logging continues, experts fear irreversible damage to the park and the extinction of its unique gorilla population. Those have been our top stories on Africa. Good morning. We're going to have a look at the weather before we zone in on Namibia. From Namibian journalist and African Union media fellow Tuyemo Haidula comes a groundbreaking documentary exposing the silent crisis threatening Africa's youth. Have a look.
Hello viewers, my name is Tuyeimo Haidula and I am bringing you a documentary on comprehensive sexual reproductive rights in Southern Africa. The documentary will look at 3 countries, that is Namibia, Botswana and South Africa.
First, I was prepared. I had made a choice, which was circumstantial then, that I'm going to have this abortion. But the moment I learned that I was actually carrying double, like 2 babies, that really hit me so hard. I felt like I just wish I could turn back the hands of time. It really, yeah.
In most cases, when, let me say for instance, it's December, like March, February, we are expecting a high number of patients that are coming in with an incomplete miscarriages or inevitable miscarriage, whatever kind of miscarriages. I don't know why, maybe it's because of festive seasons, but like mid-year, you hardly get a lot of number of these cases, but maximum number that we can get, they can go around until 12 or 10 per day.
So they had a thing in the location. I don't know. They say it's apparently a green stick. It comes. That one mostly is fatal. Most of the patients, I don't know. They don't know. Most of the patients that we had mostly ended up with serious complications because of that. Because when it stays inside, it causes infection, and that infection is the one that causes either a serious sepsis, or we had patients, maybe 2 or 3 cases that ended up in a uterus being removed. In someone's, it was just the first baby. Then the uterus is removed. Also had a case where someone just put a normal stick up there. And then somehow, maybe it was not put in properly. It didn't go through the cervix, or it went through the meat, and then it got stuck. Now it has to come here to be removed.
And we've actually lost them, died from that severe septicemia. Some of these people are just trying. It's like they're desperate to end this pregnancy. What happens? People don't just, they're looking for corners, how to enter the health system. Before you know it, delay. And then they bring the person, we say paper white, they've bled out. These are very severe cases that contribute to maternal mortality.
One thing I would want to caution against always is really looking at abortion in isolation. And I think that's part of the problem with this topic. Everybody looks at it in isolation. I think once there's an unintended pregnancy and there's somebody considering an abortion, many other things went wrong. So let me be clear on one thing. Abortion doesn't resolve issues of unwanted pregnancies. Even where abortions are legal, there are unwanted pregnancies.
That documentary will premiere on NTV, DSTV 285, GoTV 25, OneUp2.com, NTV Africa, and Network Media Hub on YouTube on Sunday, Africa Day from 4:30 p.m. So we are now joined by Namibian journalist and African Union Media Fellow Tuyeimo Haidula, talking about this groundbreaking documentary which is exposing a crisis in Africa's youth, sexual and reproductive health and rights, Africa's life-saving actions for adolescents. Thank you for joining us, Tuyeimo.
Thank you so much, Ashwin. Thank you for having me. Good morning and good morning to the viewers.
It's good to have you on the show. So, Tuyeimo, how did this documentary come about? Aside from obviously the urgency of the issues, what made you want to embark on this project?
I think really inspired me to do this documentary was when you're having informal conversation, you realize the issue is much more serious than what meets them. And what I wanted to do was to show people, not give my own opinions, but help doctors, people that have been through it, tell their own stories, be able to also get the attention, I would say, of the policymakers on the change to say that when people talk about comprehensive sexual reproductive issues, when people advocate for it, it's not just lip service, a real issue, and it needs to be addressed.
All right, Tuyemo. Now, who supported you on this project, and what was the reason behind using a phone to shoot this documentary?
The reason behind was to promote mobile journalism, and as you know that traditional media is transitioning onto online. Digital media is the future, right? So journalists need to be able to use their cell phones to capture whatever it is that is happening in the area that they are in. And the whole idea to use cell phone for the whole trip is to show that you don't need camera, you don't need all the lightings for you to be able to tell a story. Whatever phone and camera you have on you is the best is the best tool to use at that moment. So that has been supported by the African Union to be able to tell our own African stories and to debunk and stereotypes about the African continent, as well as the European Union has also given support to the documentary, and it partnered with the African Union to be able to allow African journalists and to empower them to tell their own story.
All right, Tuyemo. Now, if you had just a word to Namibians and indeed Africans before the broadcasting of this documentary on Sunday, what would you say to them to urge them to watch?
I would say, even though we are saying a documentary, yes, it is a comprehensive sexual rights, but once you've watched the documentary and it ends, this is not just a documentary. It's a call. It's a call to action, and it's a call for everyone who is going to watch and who's currently listening. It's a call to action for us to start somewhere. We need to start somewhere. We need to start the conversations. Our young people are having the sex, whether we like it or not. And the whole point is to encourage them to delay sexual activities so that they can be at an age where they can understand the consequences of engaging in sex. And the documentary sheds light. It's very, very, very much informative, educational, education in the sense that you need to understand the issues and not just you have a master's or you have a PhD and you think you are educated. No, it's education in the sense that you are able to share the information with the next person and to also implement information in your own life. So please do watch the documentary. Listen to what our doctors are saying. Listen to what socialists are saying. Listen to what the policy people who have influence to change the policies are saying, and listen to the women who have gone through the backstreet abortion and the impact that it has on their lives, and how it could make them, if we can have it happening in our hospitals. Because it being illegal in Namibia, it doesn't mean it's not taking place. It's taking place in a very, very illegal and backward setup.
Yes, we'll certainly be looking forward to the premiere on DSTV2 at 5, Core TV 25, oneup2.com, Network Media Hub on YouTube, as well as NTV Africa on YouTube. That is this Sunday on Africa Day at 4:30 p.m. Thank you very much, Tuyemo, for joining us and shedding light on your wonderful work.
Thank you so much for having me. Very much.
All right, so that was Tuyemo Haidula. She is a working journalist currently at the North, so you can understand a bit of the glitching, but I do imagine you received the message. Wow. And earlier in the week, I had a conversation with the newly appointed ambassador, British High Commissioner to the Republic of Namibia, His Excellency Neil Bradley. Here are some highlights from that interview. I have a special guest with me, the newly appointed British High Commissioner to Namibia, His Excellency Neil Bradley. And he's on Africa Good Morning for his very first television interview in Namibia as we get to know a bit about the man and, of course, the work. Greetings, Neil. How are you?
Good morning, Ashwin. Very good and delighted to be here, and thank you for the opportunity.
Very happy to have you here, Your Excellency. What's been your first impression of Namibia since arriving here?
Well, first and foremost, the very warm welcome that I've received from the government.
Yes.
I was able to present my credentials to the President very, very quickly
Yes.
in 48 hours of arrival, which means I can get on with my job here.
Yes.
My team at the High Commission, and also in my day-to-day interactions with people.
Right.
It's a friendly city, and I'm sure that extends outside Windhoek.
Oh, certainly. And so far you've just been in Windhoek, essentially just settling in, or
Yes,
have you already managed to do some traveling?
A little trip outside Windhoek, but just to Okapuka at the weekend.
All right.
But starting mostly with sort of introductory meetings and calls.
Yes.
But I did have a chance to visit Katatura.
All right, lovely.
To single
Single quarters. Oh, yes.
And to try the Kapana.
Yes, that is essential. Like just to my viewers, like if you're in Namibia, if you haven't been to Kapana, you haven't been to Namibia. And truly, it's a wonderful place to be. You get to see a lot of cultures amalgamated in that space. And as you know, food is big in Africa, and we all love. What did you think of the Kapana meat itself?
Fabulous.
Yes.
Yeah, very much. I will be going back. For sure. So I had the opportunity to go with my team, and I think it's really important in a role such as mine.
Yes.
To get out and about.
Yes.
To meet Namibians.
Yes. How do you feel your prior experiences have prepared you for the undertaking in Namibia?
Well, I think firstly, Southern Africa.
Yes.
And understanding from my time in South Africa, the struggle, the liberation struggle, the struggle for freedom. Indeed, on Friday, I had the opportunity to visit the Independence Museum.
Oh, wow.
And I was really pleased to see a large group of learners being guided through the museum.
Yes.
And the place was buzzing.
Yes.
And it's really important to remember that the freedom that they enjoy today was hard won. And should not be forgotten.
Absolutely.
So I think having had experience of working in Southern Africa, one begins to understand the struggle, the determination and the resilience that people had to show in order to achieve freedom and an independent Namibia.
Yes. Thank you for joining us on Africa Good Morning, DSTV 285, GoTV 25, 1up2.com, Network Media Hub, and NTV Africa on YouTube. Next time we see you, it will be one day after Africa Day, so do enjoy your Africa Day on Sunday. And remember to tune in at 4:30 p.m. for that essential documentary that we were just talking to Tuyemo about. But for me, Ashwin Bedi and the Africa Good Morning team, Soda Jaganaka.